"You are super dangerous," a man said to me when I told him I would inform the wife of a married guy making a move on me. The world can be so backwards. This happened yesterday. I ride horses and I was at a competition. I met some people from my riding club, and it had been a while since I saw them. One older gentleman is very interested in my love life. He doesn't understand that I am still single 1,5 years later. Honestly, neither can I. He was telling me I should flirt with coworkers. That was a great pool to find someone. I said most of them were married anyway just to be rid of him. He said, "Well, you are single, you shouldn't care." Now this is a hot button for me and the shortest shortcut to get me angry. I have been angry here before when people go and defend APs because they didn't make vows. Stop it. They are SHT people. It is not because murder is a bigger crime that theft is okay. So I have been hit on by married men. It disgusts me, and all it showed me is how insecure and sad you have to be to go for that. They don't like you, they just like that you are not their wife. None of these men were dumb enough to leave proof. If they had, I would have informed their wives. I said the same to the older gentleman, and to my surprise he got angry at me. Called me a homewrecker and a dangerous woman. That if these things happen I need to shut up. He said that it was sad that I was so jealous of married people that I would go out and destroy their relationship. And if they have kids, how dare I? I was baffled, to say the least. I tried to say that I was none of those things and not the one destroying a relationship. The cheaters were. I was not participating in their lies and cheating. I was not playing into that fantasy that the wife is terrible and I am the rainbow farthing unicorn that will save them. That is the job of sad, insecure people. That is a homewrecker. He just stomped off, being disappointed in me. I was just sitting there like, WTF? This person who I always thought of as a nice older gentleman has these ideas about infidelity? It really hit me hard. Edited to say, did not think this would be so controversial. For the people who call me terrible for hypothetically informing cheaters' wives, as stated, didn't have enough proofs, so I didn't do it. Someone who breaks up happy homes, meddling busybody, entitled and selfish. Some sad single divorced woman who wants all women to be divorced. I tell you this, I see cheating as abuse. I have been on the receiving end and I know it is. If I have the power to stop abuse, I will. Yes, the wives might know and be okay with it. That is not my problem. I don't judge. Informed consent. A teacher who sees a child having bruises will check if this is innocent or not. According to your logic, it is not their business. We need to look out for each other a little more. Finally, I don't want to ever have to do this. I want people to have a lovely marriage. I want people to be happy. I wish I was never confronted with married men hitting on me, because it is a major trigger. And if this attitude is the reason I am single according to some of you, well, I will proudly be single until I die. Story 2. Boyfriend tried S-ing another girl, she exposed him to me. Let me start this off by saying before this, I had no idea he was even capable of doing anything like this. He and I have been partners in crime for so long and do everything together. Our communication is great, like so ducking amazing. Yesterday we even talked about getting married someday. The same night, I got a message from a girl saying he had asked her if he could smoke a blunt with her and eat her out. Lol. I can't believe it. He says he slipped up and that he didn't mean it and was only trying to have meaningless fun because he didn't want to bother me by S-ing me, so instead he decided to ask some random girl. I'm so broken. He hasn't stopped apologizing. I feel so numb, yet so broken. I haven't stopped crying. I love him and want to make it work, but I don't know how I'll ever forgive him. Story 3, laughing at the AP. My ex's AP was a friend of ours. We hung out together fairly frequently after meeting her and her now ex-husband. When we started hanging out regularly, I noticed she started copying me on quite a few things. I got a new pair of shoes, she got the same ones in a slightly different colorway. She bought the same winter coat I had. I got an Apple Watch, and not only did she get the same one, but she got the same non-Apple Watch band I got. I like to cook, so she started cooking. Reading too. She'd order the same thing I ordered when we'd go to restaurants. And so on. I thought it was weird, but I also thought she was weird, so I kinda just brushed it off. Anyway, I've been a lifelong fan of the basketball team from my home state. When my ex and I moved to our current state, I became a fan of the basketball team here, and the mascot in particular. I've always been vocal about my fandoms, watching games and wearing merchandise and things. Those two teams played each other in my current city over the weekend. Out of curiosity, I looked at her Instagram with a burner lol after the game because I just knew she and my ex had gone. Thankfully, I didn't see them in person. She'd posted a picture of herself and my ex, and she was wearing a jersey for my home state team. She is not even close to being from there. Then she posted a picture of herself with the current city's team's mascot, the mascot I've loved since I moved here, with a mascot shirt she'd bought, with the caption, "I love mascots so much." Then today I noticed she made her profile picture the picture of her and the mascot. My profile picture is me with the mascot and has been for 2 years now. I just had to laugh to myself about how she basically just plopped herself into my old life, and how funny she looked posing with my ex is essentially the old me. I still love my teams and style and hobbies and everything, but my life is so much better than it was. While she's posting pics looking like a clown next to another clown. She's all posed like he's some kind of prize that she snagged, while taking on a completely copied personality. She can have my old life. It was actually really miserable. I'm just really glad I'm to this point and can laugh at her now. For the record, I think my ex sucks just as much as she sucks. He at least has his own personality. Thanks for reading. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, what a loser the app. Redditor 2, that's pretty creepy. Adopting little details of your persona makes me think there isn't much underneath the surface. Redditor 3, I think this would be a good movie, but you'd have to get rid of her at the end and collect the insurance money while sipping Mai Tais on the beach for the true Hollywood ending. Redditor 4, my ex stole my favorite hoodie and gave it to his new girlfriend. He used to call me cute in it. Sometimes I would wear it to bed. It was a bright red color. It went missing and I didn't think much of it until I saw her, with him, in it. I called him ducking disgusting, and I'll admit I was real mad about that hoodie for a while. I've accepted the loss and now laugh at him for doing something so humiliating to himself. Op answer, was this girl an AP? Either way, I'd be so mad if I found out a guy gave me an ex's hoodie to wear. Gross. Sorry though, a fave hoodie is so hard to replace. He sucks. Redditor 4 follow-up, it's a long story, but basically I'll call him Caleb, had separated and we lived with roommates in a 4-bedroom townhouse. We'd been friends for 6 years at that point, and he didn't want to move 200 miles back home. Fine with me, I understood. I only broke up with him because he couldn't prioritize me as a girlfriend, only as a friend. Well, it was good at first, but then Caleb started sleeping outside of my bedroom door where the living room was instead of his room, bothering me at work, trying anything to get his hooks back into me. I talked to him and told him he needed to get some help with his feelings, as he had never acted this way. He agreed, but I found out he never got sought any services. Eventually, after we had been separated for about 6 months, I started going on dates but not dating anyone. Until I met my current boyfriend. He was the first person who I stayed the night with, and I guess that finally set Caleb off. One night I was watching a movie with my best girlfriend, Jalen, who lived downstairs with me in her room after I got off of work. It was nearly 2 in the morning. My ex comes in an hour later, also off of work, and invites himself into Jalen's. I had asked him repeatedly that day to leave me alone, so I snapped at him. I told you to leave me alone today, so can you please do that? He yelled at me and told me that Jalen was his friend too and he had a right to talk to her. Then he looked at her as if nothing happened and asked her sweetly, "How are you?" Jalen was having none of it and told him she wasn't going to be involved in our fight, but she would be the middleman. He yelled at her, and that's when I really snapped. I told him he could talk to me that way, but not Jalen or anyone else. I threw my drink at the wall behind him for emphasis, because by now he was standing over where I was sitting on the floor, looking down. Finally, I just screamed, "Why don't you just leave?" He scoffed at me and repeated my question back to me. "You know what, you're right, buddy, I can walk away." So I grabbed my purse and hugged it to my chest. He backed up into the doorway. I turned my back to him and had to squeeze past him in the doorway. No pushing involved, I had my purse clutched tightly. I made it all the way down the hall to my doorway, and then he kicked me right in the back. I fell face first and scattered my purse, but I was back up on my feet in an instant. I grabbed his shirt collar and held him at an arm's length. "What are you trying to do to me? Why would you kick me? What are you thinking? Are you trying to hurt me?" Caleb freaked out. He hockey checked me into the hallway wall and threw 2 punches that hit me on the left eye bone. The second punch sent blood from my eyebrow flying in chunks everywhere. The blow took me down to one knee. I ripped off my hoodie and patched it over my eye quickly. That's when the 4th roommate Belle came around the corner, blood flying. And as soon as Caleb saw blood, he started wailing. After I got my eye patched up by Belle, I called Caleb's parents and told them what happened. I gave Caleb 1 month to get out, and told him he could only have the month if he would go to a mental health doctor. He agreed. Soon after, my hoodie disappeared. About 3 days after my ruined eye, I was smoking outside and Caleb joined me. I asked him if he had gone to his appointment. He told me he forgot, then whipped out his phone and opened Tinder. He asked me to meet his new girlfriend. I went off on him. He found a girlfriend but not a doctor? I asked him how he was going to explain my black eye to her. He shrugged, apologized. It was about a month later I saw them in the hoodie. He was on the lease, so he ended up staying about 3.5 months in the shared house before leaving. He also refused to pay for the hole he put in the hall door from punching me, so I put about 5 more holes in it and made him pay for an entire replacement instead of a patch. Good times. I have more stories about Caleb and his new girlfriend because this all happened over the holidays, but that's the big one. Another Redditor follow-up. Why didn't you press charges? Why are you entertaining him being abusive? He clearly has a mental disorder. Hopefully you blocked him and he isn't in your life anymore. Redditor 4 answer. He had schizophrenia and childhood trauma, so at the time I wanted him to go to a doctor and not to a jail. He's definitively not in my life anymore. I kicked him out myself.